Welcome to The Divide with Mike and Corey.
It's your boy Todd Frazier.
Hey guys, I'm Julie Stewart Banks.
Hey, what's up? This is Cliff Floyd. You can catch me on The Divide.
You can catch me on The Divide on Fox Sports The Gambler.
Hopefully our disagreements one day bring us all together.
So stupid. So corny. And so stupid. I hope our disagreements bring us together.
Yeah, I do. This is The Divide.
And here we are, Divide Live, Fox Sports The Gambler, 102.5 Philly, 104.1 Trenton. It has been the better part of a month.
Easily.
I think like April 19th was the last time we were on.
Oh, man. It's been a rough one for sure.
Life, man.
Um,
Life's been lifing.
yeah. Shout out to all the, the ones we lost. Happy Memorial Day.
Yeah, that's correct.
We missed that.
Correct.
Stuff like that. I mean, that was my first Memorial Day ever off because even as when I was a
That's
teenager,
right.
we had to work at Six Flags.
Mhm.
So I've never had one off, and I've never been more tired from it. Like I'm still tired from it, like in a good way.
I went through the whole day thinking it was Sunday. And I
Today?
was gonna wake up. Yeah,
Um,
I'm waking up on a Monday tomorrow, but no, it's already Tuesday.
yeah, I think that's the best thing about it. One, I also have an early exit to this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to London. I'm going to Paris. See the Mets Phillies play in London because that's the most American thing to do. I'm
Damn
gonna
right.
visit another country.
What are you gonna do? You gonna go watch
Yeah.
cricket or something? Come
Did
on,
you
get
hear
at it.
about like the Mets refusing? Like, so Chase Utley, for people that don't know, is the MLB ambassador of London. So it's his job to help all the other teams that are playing there. If they need help with reservations, anything. Nobody from the Mets reached out to him.
No, because they hate him.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I think it's great.
Yeah, it's
I'm here at your disposal, guys, and we're like, no
right
thanks.
on brand. Like, can't even ask them. Like, yo, where should we eat? Where can we get some good bangers and mash?
Oh man, I bet you can't wait for your bangers and mash.
Yo, also there's a few things we're doing with all different fan bases. Cut is gonna be sponsoring it. There's a lot of fun things that are gonna go on while I'm in London. But one of the things is this diner that's going viral on social media. It's called the Karens, and
What?
it's literally right next to our hotel room, and it's kind of like one of those like themed restaurants, but all the waitresses and staff are Karens.
No way.
So they're just mean to you. Like literally, the logo has a middle finger.
Why hasn't that
Yeah.
been? I mean, I guess it was thought of. I mean, there's a few here where the waiters or waitresses are just rude, but I think
No.
the Karens is fantastic.
Yeah, and then like I asked, I was like, "Oh, are children allowed?" And they're like, "Of course the f they are." Like but they don't like culturally like think of it as a bad. Like, yeah, the kid can't curse, but they curse in front of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I'm like, all right, like we'll consider that. But yeah, I think we're gonna go.
This is your first time in London?
Mine, yes. I've been to Germany, been to Austria, been to Spain. I've been around the world, but
Yeah.
not London or France, and that's where we're going.
Brag about it, bro.
And likewise,
Hold on. So, has your wife been to London?
yes, she dated a guy in Scotland, and they would.
Oh, that's
like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, her parents, when she was like in 6th, 7th grade, like let her go for a whole year to London. So she actually was. Yeah, I
What?
feel like that's too young, right? Yeah,
For a
she
whole
was-
year?
She was definitely way too young. Yeah, And
Like
that's
boarding school type
kind of.
situation?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Why did I
absolutely.
not know this about your wife?
I don't know. Yeah.
Probably because I don't listen when she talks, to be honest with you. Oh, my God. So, when's the game? You get in on what, Friday?
Yeah, so we get in on Friday, and then it's about a week till the game. We're going to Paris, Disney, because that's what theme park enthusiasts like ourselves do.
That's right.
Peyton's pretty jacked up about it. They got a
Oh,
bunch of different.
It's going
They
to
have
have
like
a
an
blast.
Iron Man roller coaster. I'm excited for that. That's
At the Disney Paris
the Disney Paris
situation.
Yeah.
You're hitting up Paris about
Mhm.
2 months before everybody in the entire world hits up Paris,
Right,
man.
right,
So
for the
you're
Olympics.
good for you, or I guess
Yeah.
should say a little more than a month. But yeah, no, that should be a good trip.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Mets win, man. They're not doing too good.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my money on it. I probably will put my money on it,
Doing
but
good.
yeah, man, there's nothing. Finding new ways to lose, like this, like we're like this team just can't win. Like it's like this team doesn't know how to lose. Like this team doesn't know how to win. Like they're just like we're not gonna do it.
I
Like,
want to know,
you
how the dancers are feeling at this
I
point.
blame the
They're
dancers.
really
I really-
rallying. Is there really a big push for Stevie to sell the team? I've seen it all over the internet. Is it more said in jest, or is that like from a Met perspective?
No, the majority of the fan base, like, I called it from the beginning. I'm not bragging, but I just felt like we did not invest in this season, and we could pretend we're shocked. But I looked at this team, I looked at this lineup, I looked at, more importantly, the starting rotation. I was like, there's no way we're going to compete. Not in this division. And maybe if we're Central or something like that, maybe you could argue that they would have a shot. But no, I mean, all of the NL is pretty much trash outside of the Phillies. If you look at the records, there's not that many great teams. Dodgers, and Phillies, you would say.
So you're right. I mean, if you're looking at the National League at this point, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 teams that have more than 30 wins.
Right.
Everybody else is, mid to high 20s, unless you're the Rockies or the Marlins, then you're a little bit lower. But
yeah,
I mean, compared to the AL, I mean, you got 2,
Forget it.
3, 4, about the same. Believe it or
Really?
not. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. The AL West is kind of lagging behind a little bit. But no, man, I feel like I don't know. It can't be ownership, right? You've never had an owner that's seemingly been more invested in a team and their success. So is it like were the right people, wrong people in the front office? Like, what is he doing wrong with his personnel? Because I feel like it's been a long time since you've had an owner that's been in every game, invested, not afraid to throw money around. And now it's like, Jesus, you're tanking before June.
It's attractiveness, right? So like nobody wants to play for the Mets. They want to use Met ownership to up their salaries, and that includes GMs. That includes we're on the 1 year of a new GM, so of course he was going to burn it down. It's not his.
Right.
You saw, everybody pretty much get canned. And it just. So I knew it was going to be a step back. They kept saying like we're not in a rebuild, we're in a reset, and I was just like, that's
dumb.
But it's so hard to throw away years. You can't throw a year away. Like it doesn't. The Sixers would trust the process. Like when you try to outthink the system ends up, you end up falling behind because other teams are also trying to reset and rebuild while they're competing. So I think that was stressful. I think the Scherzer, the Verlander deals, like they're all very quick because we lost somebody. So there was so much other things that didn't go the Mets' way, and it's still like the press. Max finding out we're not going. We're sellers. He wants to be traded. Then all this drama, dude. But again, I think it comes down to the facts. Like, people use Cohen's money, like they call it the Cohen tax, to get paid from other teams and leave and not be in New York.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much Moneyball in a nutshell. You know what I mean? It's just who's going to pay and get out of here. And now it's instead of over in Oakland or wherever the hell they are now, it's Queens.
Yeah.
We have to get into it, Philly, because you're listening. But I feel like the last time we were on the air, Philly was not doing too great. Now they're the best team in the National League, arguably the best, close to the best team in baseball, depending on what the Yankees do.
Yeah.
But it's unreal. Trey Turner's still not 100%. Castellanos has yet to even heat up. And it just seems like they have depth, man.
Yeah. No, I knew it was going to be a fun team regardless. Like I knew that going into the season. They just gel well. Everything even when a guy's doing bad, they tend to push him across the finish line. So
all that without dollar dogs.
Yeah. The funniest thing is though, like you would think it's just too much excitement around the team. Like they're going to win 117 games. It's like, bro, chill out. Like they're going for the major league record. They're doing this, they're doing that. And then meanwhile, the Yankees are like a game or like right in the same realm.
Literally a game behind.
And they're like, what can we do better? Can we sign Shoto right now? Like, like that fan base is kind of like taking it as if they've been there before, where the Phillies, like every day I'm getting a DM attacks. We're a wagon. Like, okay, dude, we get it. Like, great. But, their ballpark is filled on a Tuesday. I was shocked by that, and they didn't need hot dogs.
No.
So, They're doing well, and I hope it continues for them. But it's good to see Atlanta take a step back. The one thing I will say is Atlanta said this in the spring training that they were going to take a step back because they felt as though winning the division actually hurts in some cases.
And we always talk about it too. I think every time around when we're creeping up on postseason, we always talk about it's almost like a curse now. Like people don't want it; they want to be humbled before they enter the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think it's. I don't think it's by design with Atlanta right now. It's too early to be taking a step
and they
back.
got a ton of marquee players injured for the whole
Of
season.
course,
Strider,
but
Acuna,
Philly, watch out! Don't get too excited. It is a long season, and we're not even in the summer months yet. So I think you guys will hold on, but don't start talking record season and over 110 wins and all that garbage.
Well, it was June 19th, 2022 when we started on the Gambler, and it was because the Mets and the Yankees were the hottest teams in baseball, and they were by far. And, we all know what happened after that, and, the Phillies have never looked back since. So, you never know. You never know. Those dog days of August, like you said, they're brutal, man. They're so brutal.
Forget about the dog days. Let's head over to the Yankee territory before we start talking anything else. The big three, man. I would have never thought in a million years that both Soto, Stanton, and Judge would be hitting at the same time.
Yeah.
Dude, I figured one would get hot, the other two would be cold. One hot, one cold, one injured. But it seems like the big three are just they can't turn it off right now, and more power to them. I guess that's kind of why they've been taking most of the series they've been playing. You have Judge that went 4 games in a row. He hit some sort of crazy record with however many doubles and triples and home runs and all that stuff. But like you said before, though, kind of typical
Yeah, I want to
Yankee
see.
stuff.
Yeah, I want to see because I know Judge is obviously up in. I want to see how many are in the top 5 in home runs right now for the year.
Current top 5 home runs for MLB.
Yeah.
MLB. Let's check it out right now. Current stat leaders, home run.
Judge, Soto's 6th. Judge is tied for 2nd. Soto's 6th. And then Stanton's 7th right behind him. Yeah, so that's sick. Harper's 7th, tied with Stanton. But yeah, thank God Giancarlo Stanton is doing something for you guys. Like, honestly, but the issue has always been his batting average. And it's respectable right now, but you've seen it dip down to $1 and change. So, as long as he could keep that average somewhat good and hit 30 to 40 home runs, I mean, that's a home run for the Yankees for sure.
Look at this, man. I mean, Ohtani's got the best batting average so far.
Of course.
Sitting at 336. You got Alec Boehm tied for 2nd for RBIs this season with 47.
Yeah, he's sick right now.
Right in front of Juan Soto. Of course, Jose Ramirez is at the top of that one through Cleveland. It's just unreal this year, man.
Harper's up there too. I mean, the RBIs from the Phillies is just insane.
You know what surprises me? Because I can't stand him. Clay Holmes has 15 saves on the season. Absolutely unreal. I can't. He's awful. So terrible. So terrible.
It's not awful.
So that's gonna be it, man. There's no, because no one can compare to Mo. Anytime there's gonna be a good closer, any Yankee fans gonna be like, nah, they're terrible.
Yeah.
How many guys walked on the moon? How many runs did he let up? Forget about it.
It's so annoying.
I know.
It really is. And
I hate that stat, by the way.
Yeah, there's been
More
less
people walked on the moon than home runs.
Of course, you would hate that stat too. By the way,
because we've never been to the moon
I know. Yeah.
ever.
But apparently, we're like building a train on the moon. Did you see that
So
while we were gone?
stupid. I'm like, it's unreal, man. I understand. NASA has become NASA. I keep saying that. NASA. NASA has been this I feel like it's the new Google, where there's like cool sleep pods and this. It's just like a bunch of college kids that are too smart for just working on random stuff that'll never be true or paid for or whatever. Like, a railroad cart system on the moon and this, that. Like, stop it. Stop wasting money on the moon, man.
Yeah.
Lower my taxes. What do we do? Like, put those kids somewhere else in the government.
My favorite thing about our space conversations, and it happened on the phone, and we were talking. I was like, man, what if we shot our garbage into space?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't we do that? Right? Like, that makes sense. And I was like, I wonder if it'd be like peeing in the rain, or peeing in the wind. It just comes right back at you. And they found out, like, that's what happened.
It literally comes back into orbit.
They're like, hey, we found a piece of trash that was left.
So terrible. We used to just shoot anything up there, man. There's like burnt out rockets doing something. I just like, it's awful.
Well, that apparently, like, the moon is cluttered with like space junk too, and like it's like
it looks like a
it's gonna
junkyard.
be, yeah,
like on the
it's gonna be
actual
like
moon?
a. Remember when like it's senior year they make you go out and clean the beaches? Did you have to do that for? And then you got to play hooky the rest of the day.
I think we had something like that. I just never went. but
Okay, you played real hooky.
I played real hooky.
I played the fake one.
What do I do? Not go in or clean stuff up? Yeah, I'm just not gonna go in.
Yeah, so we went to like LBI. We would clean up for the first half, having lunch, and then you could do whatever you want.
Right.
So like people laid on the beach. I played basketball with my buddies, and stuff like that. I'm laughing because this 4K they probably could see your notes.
Really?
It's 4K camera. Yeah.
Probably can if they zoom in. Those are old notes. That's the stack for like the last 2 years now.
Oh man, I'm just looking at the one image. I keep looking down at it.
I did not draw that.
Oh yeah.
I may have drawn
I
that.
think
No,
maybe
that's not
Germ
my
did, maybe
handwriting. That's
Germ.
definitely Germ.
Yeah.
That is
I
not
had
my
some things that
handwriting.
you wrote team effort on mine. I appreciate that, Germ. But yeah, man. So like the whole moon.
Oh, this was from the 4th of July last year.
Oh my god.
This
Where's
is
the oh who cares button?
yeah, seriously.
Dude, yeah. So my baseball life's over, minus this trip to London. Like I don't foresee anything. Can't even like Pete's gone after this year. There's no doubt in my mind he's not. I wouldn't stick around. Like there's no vibe with this team. Diaz is horrifyingly bad. Makes me think he's still injured. Maybe something's going on. The game keeps catching up. So that's one thing I'll share. So
I feel like it's just your situation's like a Philly situation, when Bryce was making his decision. Like you just need one guy like him to come over, pull some other guys in, get the locker room back. You know what I mean? Like what if Trout, because Trout, I think his contract's up this year, right? I mean, like, what if Trout's like, screw it, man, I'm going East Coast. And I know, everybody's sitting there going, Yankees. Like, what if he's like, dude, I'm going to go to a team and try to, I know it's not going to happen, but like,
yeah.
I don't know. I can't.
He's got the golf course. That's the closest he's going to get to Queens is the golf course down the street from us right now. And I could see him in Philly, like, which is crazy, like a LeBron type thing when LeBron went to the Lakers, towards the end.
Yeah.
But like, with Trout, I don't think so. The Angels need him there for life.
It's a shame, man. It's like the Mets are just the New York Jets of baseball, where no matter what they do and who they try to bring over, it's just
I disagree with that.
awful. You know what do you mean?
No.
You're in the same like it's right now. Like you got
such a new Yankee take on a.
I could say Giants too. I mean, both teams suck right now, so it's not Philly. Something's going on in Philly. There's something in the cheesesteaks. There's something in the water. There's something in the cheesesteaks in Philly. You had a busy week last week. You went to a candy convention.
I did.
I want you to talk about. Like we had like 2 minutes before we have to take a break. So I want you to fill me in because, dude. Everybody knows we say we talk all the time. We've been missing phone calls
nonstop.
Even like earlier today, I did like I looked down and I texted you and I'm like I missed call and I missed a call from you like an hour ago. I'm like it's been awful.
I missed you. Like normally we talk Saturday mornings because I used to be working.
That's right.
Or we'd both be on our way to work and yeah, man. So we've been missing left and right. But what didn't miss was the Snack and Candy Expo.
And where was that?
Indianapolis.
Oh yeah.
Yo, I was in and out though.
Was that Lucas? Was it at Lucas Oil Stadium? No,
it was at the right next to it.
Okay.
Like literally the convention center, and you could see it right there. Nice. Indy 500. It's all right there.
Nice.
And we were not. We were over by the hospital area, and that was really bad. We didn't even have
snack
coffee.
Snack and candy convention, man. You need a hospital after that.
Dude, it was absolutely nuts. Like it felt like grown up trick or treating. Like you're just meeting all these different businesses. You're meeting all these new snack designs, small family businesses to Mars, to the biggest companies you could imagine. I was there with Iconic Candy, the best new candy company you could ever imagine. They resurrect your childhood memories through your candy. It's unbelievable. They stole the show. Like their booth was just on fire the entire time, to the point where Alexa and I were kind of like, let's get out of their way so they could do their thing.
Yeah.
But Ouch Bubblegum is coming back. They're the guys they're the team that brought back Cream Savers, and they did that during COVID.
Things are so good, too.
Yo, it's crazy, right? So people were buying them off the shelves and then selling them on eBay for like $50 a bag.
Oh my God.
When they came back. So to give you an idea, and they're about to do that with sours. Altoid sours are coming back.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they're called retro sours. So, and I know they got a lot going on this summer. They're going to be on the Q102 Beach Tour. And like I said, yeah, we're proud to partner with them. But it was an experience like you could never imagine. Like Big League Chew was there. I got to talk to our guys from there. I had a good meeting with them. And it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. If you could ever go to one yourself, go. If you know somebody in the industry, I'm telling you need to go. It was absolutely nuts.
Oh, man. I'm sad I missed it. I would have needed that hospital right next door, though.
Yo, it was crazy.
My stomach would have been hurting the whole
nuts.
time.
It was nuts.
They just give stuff away, too? You just go to
Yeah,
each booth?
and it's all this like new stuff. So Chex Mix had like a buffalo chicken sandwich mix. So like each piece had a different type of flavor. So one was the pickle, one was the bun, one was the chicken, one was the sauce. It was crazy. Like, but if you eat them individually, it tastes terrible. So you got to take like a big gulp and just eat it. But yeah, it was different nationalities. Squid Games, that cookie game.
Yeah.
Where
Where they
that's
get
it's a
punch
real
and stuff.
it's a real game kids play in Japan, and then so they made a candy company came out with a Mario version, but it's a candy bar, and you got to try to get Mario
way.
out of it. Yeah, I got one upstairs. It's insane. Just the stuff and the concepts coming out of there, I was just blown away.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, definitely check out the Snack and Candy Convention this time next year if you guys are around. Is it always in Indianapolis?
Yeah, but like I said, I think it's like invite only. Or
That's
like,
all
I
right.
don't
We're
know,
going to talk to
but-
our good friends at Iconic Candy to make sure that we can get some invites and
Yeah.
head on over there. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some Olympic stuff that's happening and the weird event that is taking place for the first time ever this year. Stay with us, guys. This is Divide Live on Fox Sports The Gambler.
We're still live. So.
Yeah, we are. This is the time we get to curse.
It was such a crazy week. And then I had to be back the next day. We didn't get in till like 4 a.m. And then I was back out on the road to be in Philly at 7:30, 8 o'clock.
And then you were, and then at the end of this week, I saw you were with the Cut.
Cut came out. Sim came out. We had a dinner. We're talking about game plan for football season, obviously. And then even this London trip, I was like, hey, I'm gonna, try to promote them as much as I
I feel like
can.
it'll be big over there too.
So
That's a great app.
I wonder if I could use it there. We're about to find out.
Yeah,
But it'll be
you're
good
international,
content.
bro. Remember, it's like you go on a cruise ship. As soon as you hit international waters, you're
You
allowed
can
to
do
whatever
anything.
you want. As long as you're outside of America, you can do
Kobayashi.
anything.
Yeah,
It's like Kobayashi.
I don't know, man. In order, like, we had to fill out a form in order to go into Disney Paris. Just so you know.
What do you mean?
Because we're not. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Apparently, they do it to other people that travel here. So Paris does it. France does it to us. We have to sign a form, say where we are. They have to verify it. You have to sign it. It was like a DocuSign in order to get into Disneyland.
Is it like a COVID thing?
No. It was like a
just
customs thing.
Like specifically just the Disney
Yeah.
property?
Yeah. I didn't sign
how you
anything
do it.
else.
They're worse than the Vatican. I swear to God, those guys. Fucking, they are.
They're the same.
They are.
Yeah, they're the same.
They absolutely are.
One, you worship one, and you worship
Yeah.
the mouse. Like, think about it.
One entices little kids to come have a good time, and the other one entices little kids
Like,
to have a good time. So it's really
oh man.
oh man, disgusting but true.
Yeah.
All right,
Go back.
let's get back to this. What do we got here?
All right.
You're listening to The Divide right here on The Gambler.
And we're back. Divide Live, Fox Sports The Gambler. Check out our socials. Divide Live on Instagram, Twitter or X, whatever you call it now. I think it's X. Do we still say Twitter? It doesn't matter. Facebook, TikTok, and then just check us out at giveusashot.network, YouTube Live on the Fox Sports Gambler page, or Give Us a Shot page. Give Us a Shot Network, Podcast Network's doing big things. Saw
Yeah,
Germs.
Mikey Hughes, Germ, everybody's doing a ton
It's
of
been
crazy
good, man.
stuff.
Everybody's been podcasting but us.
Yeah, I feel so bad, man. Like I've just been that
No.
podathon like definitely took a lot out of me. I didn't realize it at the time. But that took like a month and a half of me wanting to touch a microphone.
Did like a whole bunch of, that was a lot of pod.
yeah,
A lot of pod.
a lot of pod,
A lot of pod.
a lot of pod.
We
at
need a
once.
podcast called Lot of Pod.
A lot of
A lot
pod.
of pod. It's just fun to say. All right, let's move on. So July, I think, insert dates here, the 24th, 26th, whenever it is. The Olympics are coming back towards the end of July. It is in Paris now, which is going to be fantastic. If you guys haven't looked at the maps yet, go ahead and look at them. It's just, if you've never been to Paris, there's a bunch of different districts that make up the city of Paris. It's a really cool city. They have events scattered all over, so they're all going to take place, at pretty much the same time. Not all the events, but you're going to get a group of events that take place at the same time across the city. It's going to be bananas. I know people that are going to watch. I know people that are going to work. But it's I like the Olympics. I like the summer and the Winter Olympics. But a place like Paris is going to be so cool because you're just going to have different venues set up. Like beach volleyball, can you imagine like just watching beach volleyball in the background? It's like Eiffel Tower and stuff like that. So it's going to be really cool. There's one event that's brand new to the Olympics this year, and that's breakdancing. I know I had the same, but
I blame Steve Cohen for this.
it is, and that's what I thought of immediately when I'm reading this. But yeah, the U.S. Olympic breakdancers are ready to show off the sports community and culture at Paris Games.
Is it because Paris gets to pick something? Like, how does that work?
I'm not entirely sure. It just goes on to say,
Because I know baseball's gone, but it will be back when the Olympic Games are back in the States. So, like, we're taking this year off, but in 4 years, baseball will be back because it's being played in the Americas.
oh, maybe that's a good point.
Yeah.
It just says it's.
So I wonder if, like, Paris is just known for wine, cigarettes, and breakdancing.
So the teams it's 2-2, like 2 women and 2 men.
I love
or
it.
at least the U.S. Olympic team. That's pretty much what we have. Now I'm like super curious on where breakdancing originated.
No. Yo, I'm excited too because like when we're in London, like apparently like there's a lot of like Uber boats
New York.
and you could drink on the Uber boats.
Is it Uber boats? Oh, like they're going up and down the.
Yeah, taxi boats. Like,
yeah.
yeah, but
All right. So breakdancing started in New York. I don't know why we didn't know that. Either way, you got breakdancing for Paris, the Paris Games. The DJs for the competition have yet to be announced. So I'm like, dude, these like, you don't get to pick the song. This isn't like figure skating where you get to do your own routine. Is this going to be like a freestyle situation? I can't imagine like.
I'd love to see an actual like, because how many dance movies have there been? Like, or singing competition movies? You'd never really like see one. Like,
Yeah.
they had that one, so you think you could dance, but it was just too much. Like, I don't want to hear. So, and also I wonder if it's gonna have that reality type vibe where you actually hear from the judges. Probably not, because the Olympics they're gonna make everything dry.
Could you imagine like being out at a bar? I don't want. This is your typical like how you're sitting on the couch stuffing your face with like cheese balls,
Yeah.
and a gymnast like doesn't land on 2 feet, and you're like loser. You know what I mean? But like I can't imagine like being at a bar and somebody like, oh yeah, no, I'm Olympian. Like they have the Olympic ring tattoo, and you're like, oh, what do you do? Like I breakdance. Like what? You breakdance?
Well, did you see?
It's like oh, I won this little move, the little robot. Like
foul territory. Todd had another guy that was on the Olympic team with him, one of the younger guys, and they were like talking to all the other athletes, and they're like they're sitting there drinking a beer and having McDonald's, and they're like, yeah, we got our medal game tomorrow, and like all the other people are like, we've never ate any of that and put that in our body, so it's just like the difference between them and them. Like it was just funny. Like, He's like, yeah, we're talking to the swimmers, and they're just like, yeah, we can't touch that. Please get it away from us.
Oh my God.
They're like, we had pizza last night. They're like, get out of here.
Like, that's why I love baseball. I feel like
Yeah.
you could be talking to a ball player that's chain smoking a cigarette and just
Look at John Krug, man.
yeah,
Like,
exactly,
yeah.
man. Just a world class athlete. Breakdancing is only, by the way, I'm going down this article, this rabbit hole. It's not in the 2028 Summer Olympics in LA. Right now, it's only for Paris, and then for the Brisbane Olympics in 2032.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they just move. LA will have baseball back. So breakdancing essentially replaced baseball.
That's so stupid that they
Isn't
just
it?
like, oh, here's a sport, and then
Yeah.
they get rid of it. Oh, actually, aren't they doing that for flag football in LA too? Isn't that going to be in the Olympics
Yeah,
or something?
it's going to be.
See, I'm a purist.
Weird.
I'm an Olympic purist, man. I can't have that.
You want the lions
I
and
want
gladiators.
I don't know if that was ever the Olympics, but like
I think it was.
once
No?
like naked sprints,
Spartacus?
old Greek Olympics where everybody competes naked. That's
great.
awful. So awful.
Man.
Speaking of Todd, let's go back there, man. He's been crushing it
Yeah.
for the Yes Network.
It's been
I know I'm a homer and I'm
Yeah,
a little
you are.
biased here, but it takes a lot to really balance out Michael K.
Michael K.
Like
yeah.
Paul O'Neill does an okay job.
I don't like the
know,
K and A-Rod show.
The K-Rod show? No. God, no. Because they have
Are
the
they
same
doing that
personality.
this year?
I haven't watched any episode in
Yeah, I haven't.
more than a year, so I couldn't even tell you if they do it or not.
Mm.
A-Rod's too busy. The Timberwolves are still in the
Still in the
playoffs. Well,
playoffs, yeah, I
not for
was saying
long,
that.
but I
Yeah.
mean, they're maybe not by the time this airs, buddy. That's for
great.
sure. But no, he's really, you know what cracks me up too, because I've been watching the Yankees all week, because my coaching season kind of ended, so I've had time, and it's just like you feel like you're like, we've talked to Todd.
Yeah.
It's I swear to God, it's like he's talking to us.
Yeah,
when
it
he's
is.
breaking it down, he's just it's so
very humble of you
You're
to
like,
say.
oh,
You're
all
like,
right,
"Yeah,
I
thanks."
get it.
You're like, why are you talking back to the TV? No,
Yeah.
no, he's great.
My wife walks in, I got my arm
Yeah.
around the TV. I know what you mean, man.
I miss you,
You know
man.
what I mean?
You're like recording
So
it. You muted during Michael K's conversations, and it's just you
Oh, it's
responding back.
He's so awful. I mean, obviously, you
Yeah.
had to do a good enough job to be Michael K and to be around for as long as
Fair.
he's around, but I
No.
can't do it, man. It's like, to me, he's worse than Joe Buck now.
Yeah,
And I don't know what it is. Maybe just from listening to him for so long.
it's
you
a
know?
little.
It's
Yeah,
just-
everybody has their time.
it's
right?
just it's like, Mike, you gotta relax, buddy.
Yeah, for me, it was always like in the backyard playing baseball or like on a field, and somebody does the "see ya," and I was just like,
I
"Stop,
know, man.
stop."
I'd rather hear a John Sterling call.
Yeah, they're at least
then-
entertaining.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Mhm.
yes and no. It's just the see ya.
Also, when they made that spotlight show with Michael K, like interviewing
Like Matthew
s-
Broderick and like it's like
I
the
get-
Yes Network just needed, or
needed
MSG
airtime.
just needed something else to
center
fill.
stage with Michael K. And I was just like, why? Like, no, I don't want to hear this guy again. Like,
No, like
I'm
it's
Baba
like
Walters.
MSG was like, we were just gonna play commercials for an hour straight, but if you want the time, you can have it.
he bought it. Like,
Nobody's watching anyway,
It's like
so
a
you might as
public
well.
service announcement thing. Oh man, that's great.
He like produced the whole thing. He invested his own money. Just
I'm the only idiot watching it.
and like not even watching it, but hate watching it. Just
Yeah.
like, what is this guy doing? What does he know about acting? Get out of here. Didn't he interview? I feel like he interviewed like 50 Cent one time too.
Yeah,
I feel like it was something
probably. Yeah, it was
stupid.
out of hand. It was out of
It's
pocket.
just
The
unreal,
whole concept was
man.
nuts.
Michael K. Why?
Even the K-Rod show, like I just want to know how that happened. Like why they picked that, because like it sounds like a great concept, but it would have been cool if it was like Big Papi and A-Rod. Like it would have been better if you found, because that's why the Manning cast is so great, right? Because it's two guys that literally don't know what they're doing. And Michael K doesn't have that national attention to rope in a national audience, in my humble opinion. So
No, and honestly, I mean, you just look at like take a page out of the NBA's book. Like we everybody wants to hear a breakdown from an actual player and someone like we want to hear. That's why people are so excited for Brady to get in the booth, and
Yeah.
for that's why people love Romo. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I want to hear a breakdown from a guy that's looking at what we're looking at and knows it inside and out.
Yo, speaking of Joe Buck, did you see the story he shared this week about how he got his first like announcing gig?
Yeah,
or whatever?
no, I didn't see it, but didn't his
So-
dad give it to him?
Yeah, well, he was 18 years old. It was his birthday. He was supposed to go to prom with this girl, and this girl was like, "Yeah, I'm not going with you anymore." So he went to the game. It was in New York against the Cardinals, Mets Cardinals, and his dad was doing the radio broadcast. So like, come around the fourth inning, they're like now making their his debut, Joe, like my son Joe, and him and the other announcer got out of the station and just left him to his own devices for that whole inning. Yeah.
And the rest is history. And that's
Right,
why
right. That's
we have to listen to
privilege, right?
Joe Buck. Jesus Christ. Good God.
and
Could
again,
you
it-
imagine? You can't do that in any other, I mean, a few professions. Could you imagine if like
Right.
a doctor's like,
Pilot.
hey, my son doesn't really know any sort of life direction, but I'm going to let him take this
Right,
one. He's
right.
going to stitch you up, all right? Like, you said a pilot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we were cruising at 5,000, whatever, 50,000 feet. I don't know altitudes.
He just comes to the back of the plane, the pilot, and he's got his feet up. It's like, yeah, my 18-year-old Nick is gonna take us home.
He's really good at video
God
games.
help
He'll be
me.
able to land this thing no problem. God, man.
That was the other thing. Like when we're talking to NASCAR, the simulators that the president of NASCAR gives the Urban Youth School are like legit, and like you could really learn how to race on them. Whereas like I don't care how great you could be at NBA 2K, like you're not gonna be able to transition that into court, like
God,
right,
no.
like onto the court. So it was just funny to really like think about that, like you know. But
Most
yeah,
people that are good at 2K have never held a basketball in their hands in their entire life.
I love it. I love it.
So dumb. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, happy trails to a umpire that nobody, some people
We need to celebrate this.
will miss. We're definitely going to celebrate it. When we come back, this is Divide Live on Fox Sports The Gambler. Dumbass Michael K. and Joe Buck. And look at this K-Rod show. Billy Crystal, Terry Crews,
It's so
like
funny.
Stephen A. Smith. What business do you have interviewing
Is it
Stephen
still
A.
is it still happening?
Dude, this has 2023 as some of the later episodes. So as of last
24.
year, Adam Sandler, Ron Howard, Rob Reiner, David Cohn.
Yeah, it was also some of it was bad. The one that's married to the woman who was Sex in the City,
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, who's her husband? The
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah. He was like he knew nothing about the Mets, and like they coined it as like he was this diehard Met fan because they just assumed he was a diehard Met fan because he's been to a lot of the games, and he wears a Met hat and a lot of his like when he's in the airport and stuff. But like he's like, yeah, I wasn't really a fan. Like I don't really know much. Like he didn't give them anything. He did not want to be there.
It's just, dude, and it might be with Broderick. I mean, dude, first, I don't know if he's from Queens. He's definitely from New York. He still lives there. And it's like he's just a rich guy with too much money, man.
Yeah,
like
that's,
for
like-
me and you, it's like if you
Yeah.
lived in the city, what do you want to do? I don't know. Let's go sit behind home plate.
Right. Yeah.
You don't have to know.
Hank
what's going
Azaria
on.
was good on it, but Hank's good on everything.
Yeah,
I
that
like
guy's
Hank.
great.
He said he admitted during the Subway Series he was like conflicted, but the minute Clemens threw the bat at Piazza, he knew he was a Met fan for the rest of his life. So and that's a solid 24-year sentence. So I'm not mad at that. Like I look back and think about that because my fandoms for sports I'm not really into yet, like adapt and change. So I was following the Philadelphia Union, but I feel like I cursed them, so they suck now. So I feel terrible about that.
When I was midst getting my vasectomy, did I tell you the doctor wanted to have a full conversation with me about soccer? And I'm just like sitting there. And I'm just
Speaking
like,
of balls,
no, we were just talking sports, and I was like, yeah, man, I love baseball, hockey, football. And he's like, well, soccer's getting big. And it's like, yeah, I don't watch soccer. And then he talked to me about soccer.
he's like, hey, pal, I'm your goalie.
Oh my God. Hand me that cord, man. We can open up with the turf monster getting this lady. If it'll work. I hope it'll work. It should work. Let's see what we got. put it in all the way.
Oh. Might want to turn up the volume too.
We are through 5. Bad news. Tarp Monster did get one member of the ground. Good news. Bad.
All right, you ready? We'll do this, and then we'll talk about.
You're gonna have to do your own and do it in 3 seconds. Just say and welcome back, Fox Sports.
And welcome back, Fox Sports, The Gambler, Divide Live. Let's check out what happened over Memorial Day weekend. I think the Tarp Monster got somebody
Good
here.
news, bad news. Good news, Reds are up 4. We are through 5. Bad news, Tarp Monster did get one member of the grounds crew who got undercut and is trying to army crawl a path to freedom. Not sure if Charlie Steiner, Dodgers radio announcer, might be part of it with Mark McGuire. That tap, you see the single? Yep, there's somebody under there. Actually injurious. One of the bigger cheers of the day.
Man,
There are few things
terrifying.
more terrifying and embarrassing for this poor woman.
Yeah.
At the Reds game on Saturday, I guess, storms just whipped through the Midwest and East Coast, and the Reds, I think, were up 4 at the time, and of course the tarp goes on quick, guys.
Yeah.
For baseball, they don't mess around, and they don't care if you fall, trip, if you have kids, if you're young, they don't care. They're like, forget it. Survival of the fittest.
It is still
And
the most barbaric thing you'll ever see.
unreal, man. It does not. This is not the Titanic. The women and the children do not go first. There's no respect when it comes to the tarp. And this chick, unfortunately, just got under. And it was like when you have it's like under a blanket. It's like a mouse under a blanket trying to move.
There's been a few times where you went under the blanket and you thought oh man, I can't wait. You get to the other side and you're like, that had to be that times a million.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
The weight of that tarp on her.
So horrifying.
She's army crawling. There's tens of thousands of people watching live. Now millions thanks to the internet.
You ever see that motivational football movie where they're something like playing the Giants or something, and they do this this crawl with a guy on his back, and he's blindfolds him, and he's like, keep going.
No.
She had to have been because I would have just gave up.
You're not gonna die here,
Yeah.
Mike. You're not gonna die here. She had a person leading, tapping her, no, go the other way. Go, literally walking on the
That's
tarp.
the other imagine almost being there and then just deciding to turn back around. I must be going the wrong way.
Person was herding her like a mouse through a maze, poking her with a stick from the tarp. Up this way, this way. Keep going. Well, hopefully she got a good laugh out of it. And
is it like the Marines and stuff where you have to actually tread water or something? Does everybody go through the tarp once to learn?
that was the hazing process. Someone tripped her on purpose.
Welcome to the team.
Welcome to tarp duty. Oh my God. Angel Hernandez.
Yeah.
There it is.
See ya.
Peace is out. He's out of here. Finally retiring after who knows how many, almost 30 years. 3 decades, the article says. After 3 decades of missing strikes and balls behind home plate, he finally has worked out a deal to where he's going to retire. I don't know if he gets a package. May 9th was the last time he was, umping a game.
What's it going to take?
So he hasn't worked in the last couple of weeks. He's worked more recently than we have.
I was going to say, definitely, he could have cashed in on this, a GoFundMe, something like that. Hey, guys, I'm thinking about retiring. Donate here.
Yeah, set me up so I don't have to do this anymore. The guy's 62 years old.
I know. That's the other problem.
Granted, he's been awful for an extremely long time.
I saw something where it's him and Joe West, they both were involved, and it was just a nightmare.
Well, he had that thing where he filed a lawsuit, what was it, 2018, 17, because he thought he should have been a part of the crew chief for the World Series.
Yeah, World
he was
Series,
passed over, and he thought it was because of race, because he's Cuban.
No.
But he couldn't prove. And it had nothing to do with his terrible track record behind.
This was definitely performance based. I could promise you that. So good riddance, thank God. Ironically, at the snack convention, I ran into a gentleman that worked for a cookie company, and he was a collegiate umpire. and he was about to get put into the pros.
Really?
Yeah, and we were talking about nobody really umpires don't have an outlet, and he wanted to make a podcast. So we actually have a meeting in a couple weeks, and I hope maybe he gets a professional nod through this. I'd
man.
assume he'd start he is a collegiate umpire, so maybe he gets to push to the pros quicker. But I would assume he'd have to do some type of minor league.
Yeah, I think that's how
Yeah.
it works. Really,
Yeah.
is from college to some sort of minor. I know a kid that was a minor league.
No.
I think he was only one step below the pros, so maybe he'll get the push. It's got to do.
It's got to be better.
A trash can can be better.
I was gonna say a robot.
Like,
but-
what is that game with the wiffle balls where there's literally a square behind home plate and it just
Oh,
has to
where
hit
you
that?
just yeah.
That. Set that up.
Put that up. Yeah.
Like, just get rid of catchers.
But
just do
again,
it.
I again talking about obviously there's a reason why Angel Hernandez was probably around for a long time and he was good at his craft at one point, right? Because again, we can see the box at home, so we're like, come on, how'd you not see that? But
I mean, and that's the thing, right? Every home plate umpire has their own strike zone, and as long as they're consistent, you usually don't hear too much. If you're missing the same pitch, just keep missing the same pitch.
But when you're ejecting people because somebody in the crowd said something, the Aaron Boone situation, that's hilarious. man.
Literally, someone said something in the crowd, and he pointed at Boone and told him to get out. Aaron's like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't say anything.
See the other one with John Boy where they just pick somebody. I think it was a hitting coach. He clapped
It is
or whatever.
at this point, it's such an old man an old man. I can do this. I'm going to do this. Dude, nobody cares.
and-
Getting thrown out in baseball means nothing. There's no suspension. There's no fine. There's nothing. It's literally, it's an act. It's a charade.
It's now
relax.
now the team has a substitute teacher. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And
The
other-
lineup card's in. What else do you have to do?
Harper got tossed the other night, and he was just asking where the ball was at. And it was calm. He was still in the box, and the guy was just I guess had a bad day. But the thing is, I was talking to the collegiate umpire at the snack convention. I was like, can you guys not retract it? I've never seen somebody get tossed and then cooler heads prevail, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, all right, you could stay in. Can you not? Once you toss him, you can't go back on.
What
it?
did he say?
He's like, no, yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
wouldn't think
code.
so.
Yeah, but come on,
My thing is dude, especially with the Bryce Harper situation, in every other sport, you can have at least the captain or a player talk to the ref, or at least say hockey is the worst.
Yeah.
These players straight up curse. So I have right at the ref, and they give it right back to him. I feel like it's weird, man. You're grown men. Why are you so sensitive? Someone's gonna look at you and be like, yeah, that was a terrible call.
Hockey, I almost get it though, because the way the refs have to skate, they're probably hopped up on the same kind of adrenaline as the hockey players. So almost like they relate to each other.
Oh,
to where,
absolutely. And the
they're
respect is there, right?
Yeah.
They're not putting hands on each other or anything. That's the thing about baseball, too. You go argue on someone's face and spit on each other and no one throws hands. Come on.
It definitely, everybody says, wrestling messed me up. Baseball arguments messed me up more. As a child.
Yeah.
Because I would think, that was normal. You could walk into a room and just,
Get 2 inches from somebody's face.
Let me tell you something.
What is
but wrestling didn't teach me that. It was
and
freaking-
nowhere else in life can
Bobby
you get
Valentine.
2 centimeters
Yeah.
from someone's face and
Yeah.
not get punched.
Right.
So dumb.
Dallas Green just screaming at people with his giant beer belly and just, it was nuts, man. Joe Torberg, he was our manager for a year. I think he was kicked out every single game in the 90s. It was insane.
I love it when they take garbage cans and stuff and they put it behind home plate. Give me that. Give me that sort of. I'll take stuff like that over the arguing nose to nose. Punch someone or
or
kiss
throw
already.
a base.
Would you what are you
Yeah, Lou Piniella was great at that.
Pinella was
It
fantastic.
amazing. But
God, Lou.
that's also going away. But I also think the Mets needed that, right? They need somebody to get kicked out. They need a fire.
Yeah,
So
it'll fire up your
team for a
your
little
bench.
bit. Yeah, for sure.
It shows the guys that hey, I'm willing to fight for you.
I guess. Yeah. Steve Cohen's not willing to fight. He already said on Twitter the season was over, and then he was like, "Sorry, I meant to DM that to somebody." That's such an old man excuse.
Dude, it's like when Facebook first came out and old people, like when it was like free for people to use and all the old people were writing stuff on their walls, not realizing that everybody can see it. Like it's
Yeah.
just
Did you watch that GameStop movie?
no, is it
Yeah,
good?
it's so good.
Is
It's
it?
so
There's
good.
a few on the list.
And he's back now. He's back. The roaring kid.
Is he?
Yeah,
What's he
he's
saying
back.
now?
He did. He brought back GameStop. And then he also did AMC.
Ah,
So
I need a new tip. I need to make a little bit of money fast.
yeah, you
Or
got to
a
watch
lot of
that
bit of money
movie. That
fast.
movie's great.
Yeah.
It's like it reminds me of Get Short, but it's better.
Okay.
Yeah. If that to give you an idea.
It does give me an idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And it's
That's
got
great.
Pete, whatchamacallit, Pete Davidson.
Pete
But he-
Davidson's in
yeah,
it?
but he plays like kind of like how I assume Pete Davidson would be in real life. So I don't mind it.
He plays the same role
Yeah,
all the time.
every time. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. That's perfect. All right, guys. We'll be back next week. Maybe not. I don't know. It's our schedule.
Couple sponsors real quick.
Yes.
Cut.com, KUTT.com, and IconicCandy.com.
That's right. We talked about Iconic Candy. Cut. You guys are going to hear more and more. Check out our socials. That will be all over. It's exciting. It's awesome. You've heard us promote it before. Check out our socials. Click the link, sign up, and place some bets with us. Have a good week. Divide Live on Fox.